Harry Williams re-signing, he's a guy that's really come of age in the last few years, and again, a bit like Ben Moon, got international status and is really driving himself to bigger and better things.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the nice things about Harry staying around is that, I always look forward to listening to his review when he comes in on a Monday. Sits on the desk next to me with Rob Hunter and talks to his review and his goals for next week, because they're always slightly different and can be talked through for half an hour and in the most obscure ways. But a character I really like spending time with him, and he's probably he won't mind me saying it, he's probably like one of the odd bunch in that, one of those guys you encourage to be themselves and they like being themselves. I mean, you look at him, he's covered in tattoos and long hair and he dresses a bit different to everybody else, and he's just happy and comfortable being his own man and having his own interests. But then he gets out on the field and he buys into what being a tighter, proper next Chiefs pack of forwards is about, and he buys into what we want as a team, and he buys into the fact that we want to work hard and we don't want to have tighter props who sit down every scrum and go on a knee at every line out and try and have a breather. And he's brought into that, and that helps the rest of the team thrive and develop as well. And so all those kind of things are big strengths of his, and he's certainly, and I think he would admit this as well, he's certainly not peaked yet either as a player. And those kind of things are really important for us. I know he's got huge international ambitions, but he's also one of these guys, and again, this is the test of character as much as anything else. He phones me up when he's away in the England camp, and this will be within 5 minutes of him having some really disappointing news that he's not going to be involved that weekend. And he phones me up and says, make sure you pick me this weekend because I'm desperate to play and I want to get back, and I want to be back in amongst the lads, and I want to get out there and I want to win games of rugby. And that's not always the case with players. You can see it yourself. You'll obviously players come back from international camps at other teams and not play, and that's normally because the player doesn't want to play. But with us, a guy like Harry, he's ready, and he's been desperate to play every single minute he can play this season. He's done exceptionally well for us. I think he's had some huge performances, and I think he probably can count himself being one of the real unlucky guys not to have played more international rugby in this past Six Nations.
Has he used that and also the World Cup miss out?
It feels like it. It feels like he's used it really positively, because his performances for us have been great. I've obviously had conversations with him, and he's hugely disappointed by it, but he's, as you say, he's channeling that disappointment in just the right way, and as long as he keeps channeling that disappointment into big performances for us, there's nothing more I can ask of him.
Obviously he's a player that you found from the Championship. You've found some real gems over the years, but you've transformed him from being somebody at Jersey now to a starting tight end at Test level.
Well, we've played our part, but the big part's been played by Harry. It's not the guys who come here and thrive, they're the guys who just are prepared to kind of listen to us, but then they're prepared to work extremely hard. We're not on our own. Rob Hunter is an exceptionally good forwards coach, and he's the guy with the credit on these guys in the last 5 or 6 years coming through the Championship. He's the guy who's doing 90% of their coaching. Twigsy and his conditioning team, they're the guys doing 100% of the conditioning work with these guys. I kind of just have the odd chat with them, guide them in a certain way, tell them how the team want to play, and have the odd chat with them about emotionally where they need to be, and help them deal with disappointments or good things or whatever. But there's a lot of people contribute a lot of things other than myself, and the large contribution comes from the player. We like to think we can create an environment here where a player can come in and work hard, but they have to start to come in and work hard, and as I say, buy into what is good for the team, because when they buy into what's good for the team, they tend to thrive for themselves as well.
On the current market, an England tight head around the England squad would attract a lot of interest. How do you go about keeping someone of that ilk?
Well, I think first and foremost you go about keeping them by giving them a good environment to be in, and a successful environment and an ambitious environment. And so what you really need for your international based players is them to look around and go, well, this team, when they say they want to win the Heineken Cup and when they say they want to win the Premiership, they're doing the things that make that possible. And I think that's the first step you take. And then obviously, money is a factor, and you've got to be in a financial position, and you've got to have managed your squad, and you've got to be able to build a squad where the player can look and go, well, A, I feel rewarded enough that this feels right for me, but B, I can see there's a squad here that's put together that's also capable of achieving my ambitions. And those are difficult. That's the difficult balance to achieve. It's not difficult to overpay a player, but it's difficult to pay a player a lot of money and keep a strong squad around them. And hopefully that's the balance we're managing to achieve still here at the club.
But you said he was keen to stay here as well, in discussion straight away. 90%
of the renegotiations we have, they start with us saying we want you to stay, and the player saying, well, I want to stay. and that's normally a nice place to start. It's the right way for most conversations to start, because I think if it wasn't the way the conversation started, then we'd probably part ways anyway. So that's the way it's been for a number of years at the club, and hopefully that's how it will continue. And obviously I see Harry being here as part of a successful future, both for him and for the club.